Hi, I'm Karen, and I'm excited to show you BuildTrack50's new regulation tracking system. So we have our bill tracking that you may already be familiar with, but now we also have set up regulation tracking in a much more coherent way. So just like with bills, you set up a sheet, and that is a saved search. So I've got this applied behavior analysis search that I've done, and I can come in here and see all the different regs that have to do with this topic, and I can click on any one of these. So I've got, well, first let's look at the data. So I've got the bulletin name and the agency. I've got an AI summary that I can read about this. I've got the status and the statute reference if I've got one, agency category, various different dates and links. And I even can add as many of my own columns as I want with my own comments and information that I'm going to share with myself or with other people. And then I can, of course, check out one of these regulations. And so we'll see this AI summary is a summary of all the documents associated with this regulation, along with a little bit of information about it. And then we've got all of the documents themselves that came through. And if we click on any specific one of them, we'll get a summary for just this document. And then, of course, the document itself, which you can scroll through, download, check out, do whatever you need to do. All right, so that is the data there. We also have our similar feature where we'll say, okay, if you're interested in autism services for children on Medicaid, what other regulations are going on around the country? And we'll show you other similar regs that you might be interested in, that you might want to add to your own tracking sheet. Okay, so that is setting up that search, looking at an individual reg. Now, the way I got these onto this nice little grid is I set up a query. And so I just said, give me every reg that mentions applied behavior analysis. So I can have, as complicated a search as I want here. I can limit it to things just in certain statuses or different types, or just in certain agency categories. Or here I'm just saying, give me everything. I can limit it to a certain date range, or I can say, give them to me in a certain, like, give me the last 12 months, and always just keep it that way. And I can look at individual regulations as well. If there's some specific 2 or 3 that I want to follow, I can do that. All right, so I'm going to make that change. And now I've got things just in the last year. All right, and then I can set up alerts for myself and let myself know when a new regulation is proposed that would be relevant to me, or if one of the regulations I'm following gets a new document or has a hearing scheduled, or has some other kind of status change, like it's moved from final to rule review, something like that. If it gets a new type, and if it gets a new effective date, which you might be interested in. And then finally, you can actually share these. So you can also make a map and see who's working on these, and then put this on your website, and people can check this out. And if they click, they'll see the regs in their state. And you can include whatever columns you want here. So if you want to have your own comments in here, you can, to explain why they're relevant. So that's a nice way to kind of inform everybody about regulations. So those are the basics of the new regulation tracking tool. I think you'll find it's really nice. We've got each row here is just representing one regulation, and then we'll tie together all the different documents we've seen for that regulation, and then we'll let you know as it moves through the process with our alerts. Okay, I hope you like it. Thanks.